Hello, everyone. It's Joyce here, saying hi to you from Newark, Delaware. Welcome to my Facebook Live show. Have a great show for you tonight. And I just want to share something with you. I don't know how your week went. I hope it was better than mine. Had a kind of a rough day today. I wasn't really sure what I was going to be sharing with you today. I kind of got stuck. And then I got two pieces of really good information of news. One, I heard from my colleague in Kenya that something really great happened, and I'm going to share that with you later. And the other thing is, I looked at our donations where we had reached for the Turn the Water On for Osawan, and we just gotten to 60 donors who had contributed. We just got over $14,000. So I can't explain to you the energy of that. So good news, and good news helped me to become unstuck. And I just wanted to say thank you so much for your donations. You may think you're doing something small, but you're doing something huge. And know that the ripple effect of your generosity creates a ripple effect that reaches me, because it makes me want to share more with you, to share more with people, to work harder. So that's the goodness of that ripple effect. So thank you so much for the people who've donated so far. This is a great time to get yourself something to drink, get comfortable, love our program, and share it with your friends who might want to learn something new, learn about Kenya, and learn about what we're doing. Something interesting, something different. It's never boring. So I also want to thank our board members for all their support and contributions, and also our staff and volunteers. You guys, we can't do it without you. We're so grateful for your help, and also, of course, our team in Kenya. So I'm going to just jump right into talking about Kenyan culture a little bit. You might remember last week, my friend Ruth had brought us really yummy tea and also mandazi. Well, I know every culture has their own comfort food. Well, Kenyan comfort food is this. Everybody's favorite meal. We've got ugali, which is maize flour. We've got sukuma, which is collard greens, and nyama. So people will say, ugali skuma nyama. And everybody knows they're going to get something like this, something warm and filling and delicious. Okay, now I'm sure for you, your comfort food does not include this. Maybe you can share with us what your favorite comfort foods are. Well, something so interesting, in Kenya, people, when they're talking about meals, especially lunch and dinner, they want to eat a hot meal. They don't eat bread the way we eat bread. Bread in Kenya is something that's for a snack. So, for example, last week we had chai, tea, and ondazi, and that's kind of that's the same kind of function that bread has. It's a snack. So you would drink it with a cup of tea and have some bread, maybe with some margarine on it or some jam. I just thought that was so interesting that, we are so used to eating sandwiches for lunch and maybe a salad. We don't eat hot meals for lunch, but in Kenya, people want to eat hot meals. And one of the things that's really different about Kenyan cuisine is actually it's the food that they use, what they have available to buy, and also the tools that they have. So if we're talking about, let's say, a Maasai lady in her house, she has to go fetch firewood. She has to make a fire in her home. Then it's a one pot at a time, right? So she might first make the meat, put it aside, then make the collard greens and put them aside, and last but not least, maybe cook the ugali. Ugali is something that makes the pot very messy, so you don't want that to set too long, and also you don't want to eat it cold. So whereas we have lots of kitchen appliances, we've got a fridge. In a lot of Maasai villages, there's no electricity, so they're not, they don't chill anything. They cook fresh. They're not getting something out of the fridge and reheating it. The other thing is, they don't have things like cooking boards, cutting boards or fancy cooking tools. And I could just remember one time I was at a big funeral ceremony, and was a lot of people attending there. And one of the things that we did to help out was to peel potatoes. Well, guess what kind of a knife I peeled with? A big and dull knife. And we peeled mounds of potatoes because there were hundreds of people had come to this funeral. And I thought to myself, you know what? The next time I come back to the US, I'm going to come back to Kenya with peelers, and that's going to be my gift to people. And that's what I did. And I gave my friend a peeler, and it revolutionized her life. She was able to peel potatoes quickly. And in fact, she was telling me she got invited to a wedding where she was the only person who had a peeler, and she was the fastest peeler there, and everybody wanted to try out the peeler. So you might think that everybody has the same tools, but they don't. And that's one of the things that really makes a difference in the cuisine that people prepare. So also think about it. You know, people don't use ovens there. They don't have ovens, and they're just really using one fire. So if you're planning to cook, you got to plan your cooking in a different way. So that's the end of my little story about Kenyan food culture for the day. The other kind of interesting thing, just on a side note, is the way they use things like avocados. So avocados to us seems like a vegetable. Well, they really use it as a fruit. They might mix it together with other fruits. They might cut it and scoop it and actually put it on top of something like beans and mix it up to add that kind of sweetness. So those were some kind of interesting things about ways people use food differently. So that's a great transition to learning your Maasai word of the day. Actually, I'm giving you a challenge today because I know you are smart enough. I'm going to teach you 2 words. And the Maasai word for smart is ngen. Can you guys try that? Ngen. So it's kind of like the sound at the beginning of it is kind of like the sound that we say when we say singing. Ngen. See, I knew you could handle it. And it means smart and clever. Okay, now the second word is like a word I can't believe that I haven't taught you, and I thought it's better late than never, and it's such an important word in Maasai culture. Enkiteng. Can you say it? Enkiteng. Enkiteng. And it means cow. Now, cows, as you may have heard me talking about before, are really central to Maasai life and culture. Maasai people use cows as food. They use it as their bank account. They use it as culture and status. It's a key thing in Maasai culture. Gifts of livestock to each other is a way of cementing friendships and relationships. So let's say you have a friend whose name is Tom, and the person gives you a gift of a cow. You no longer call them Tom. Well, guess what you call them? Pakiteng, which means the giver of the cow. So that just cements your relationship, those kinds of livestock gifts. So when we're on the subject of Kenya, I told you I would share something amazing with you today. But before I do that, I want you to take this time to love our program and also share this with your friends in case they might be interested in watching. And I think I have some shout outs. Hey, Diane, Doug, Trisha, Vil, Satyavati, Melissa, Heather, and Joanne. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Well, I know we've got some people in there always asking me about my outfits. Like especially Vil always wants to know where my outfits come from. Well, and I know also Trisha. So this particular outfit, this is actually the first beaded clothing that I got. This is my the beautiful jacket that was made for me by the women of Imisigio. That was our very first borehole that we drilled back in 2007 and 2008. And this was the gift that they gave me. So I'm just gonna, it actually has a matching dress. So I thought I would honor them and honor our work together by showing this beautiful jacket to you. It has a matching dress, as I said, but I'm not wearing that tonight. Okay, so back to the good news. So this is news from Kenya. I'm speaking with my co-founder, Joseph Larasha, who you've heard me mention a lot of times. And he told me some great news about our hand washing program. So in the Kimana market, you might have remembered me talking about, we've set up hand washing stations there for the last 3 weeks. That is so that people can wash their hands well before they go into the market. It's a crowded place. People need to go do their shopping there. And we really wanted to help them be able to protect themselves and their families against the coronavirus. So we had been planning on a permanent solution, and we were getting ready to implement this week. And we found out, as of today, that the county government of Kajiado, which is the county where we are in Kenya, have actually brought a big tank, and they've set up hand washing stations in the vegetable part of the market, which is amazing. So that just shows you the energy of something good. So the news got out. In fact, we had media coverage. We were on the radio. We were in the newspaper. I'm sure the public health people in Loitoktok gave the governor that information, and they came to the ground. And we're so happy that the ripple of effect of what we did bore this fruit. So you guys, thank you so much for your support. I know it's, something we jumped into it to really be able to at least save some lives and protect people. And look, this is the fruit that it bears. So thank you so much for working with us together on this. And the other news that I have is that, okay, there's a second program that we have in Kenya, and it's called Livestock as a Business. Remember I told you how important the enkiteng, the cow, is in Maasai culture? Well, when people do well with their cows, it means that they can keep their families well fed. It means that they can keep their kids in school. It means that they can keep their water supply on. Well, and when their cows aren't doing well, like in drought times, it means that cows will die and their source of income goes away. Their ways of paying for their kids to be in school goes away. And so we came up with a program back in 2011. After a very serious drought, we came up with a program called Livestock as a Business. And it has two parts of the program. One is a training part, which teaches people how to be have business skills, how to make a budget, how to manage livestock diseases. And the second part is a loan where they can buy cows with a loan and then put their the things that they've learned into practice. And it's a very successful program. We've trained more than 50 groups so far and given a lot of loans that have been repaid. Well, we heard today that one of our livestock groups went to the market and they did extremely well. It was a really hot seller's market. And so cows that they bought for, let's say, the average price of $220, they were selling for an average price of $480. So we don't know exactly what the net profit is, but the gross profit looked really great. And the other thing is it puts money in people's pockets. It gives them hope in a hard time. In this time of coronavirus where people are very unsure if they're going to be affected, to know that they can do good business with their livestock puts people at ease. So that's the impact of this program. And the other thing, and some of you may know, we have a third program, and it's called our Beaded Handicrafts program. So you might look behind me and see all the beautiful things that we're selling. We've got 2 lines, actually 3. We make things out of paper beads. We sell traditional Maasai things made out of glass beads. And we also have some textile products, some beautiful handbags. And all of those things are available on our website, Water is Life Beads. So check that out. Buy things. Mother's Day is coming out. Everybody loves something beautiful. And this is something that gives twice because you can give it as a gift, and it also provides income for people who work at all the ladies who live in our project areas. So thanks so much for shopping with us at Water is Life Beads. So I'm going to move on to my next part of the program. And this is a great time to get yourself something to drink. Again, if you're thirsty or love our program, share it. And it's time for Okay, let's see if you can guess what this is, guys. You're right. It's time for Wildlife Corner. Wildlife Corner. That was a lion roaring. Do you know how far you can hear lions roar? 5 miles. That sound carries and puts the fear of God in your heart. I can tell you because I've heard it when I was sleeping in my tent. The lion. Okay, so many people know the Kiswahili word for lion already from the Lion King. Simba, everybody's favorite and beloved animal. Simba. Okay, and the Maasai word for lion is Oloaru. Oloaru. Can you say that? Oloaru. Okay, and remember the word that we learned earlier? You guys remember? Ngen. Well, lions are very ngen. They're very smart. They're very brave. They're very strong. And also they're fast. So lions, male lions can be they're usually between 6 to 7 feet long. They can be almost 500 pounds. So that's I'm about 6 feet tall, but think about how heavy and strong that animal is. And females are about between 5 to 6 feet long. They can be almost 300 pounds. So we're talking about a very muscular animal. They can actually run up to 50 miles per hour. Okay, so that's not that much slower than a cheetah, which is the fastest animal, which can run almost up to 60 miles per hour. So they can't run those very long for that fast, but they can do it at the necessary time, especially when they're hunting. Our resident expert on wildlife, who's Joseph Larasha, they grow up living right next to these animals. So they observe their behavior and they know about them. And I was asking, what shows that a lion is so clever? Well, he said that when they're hunting, they can hide themselves for long times. They know exactly what's the right time to go for their prey. They can hide themselves even when there's no tree, not a single tree around. They can make themselves so low to the ground. They put their ears down, they put their tails down. They can camouflage themselves in the grass to wait for that perfect time to stalk and kill their prey. And you might think that all lions are good at this. Well, like anything else, remember we were talking about the elephant last week? The baby elephant had to learn how to use its trunk. Well, lions have to learn how to hunt. So there was a time when I was in Masai Mara looking, appreciating the wildlife there. And we saw something amazing. There was a mother lion with her four boy cubs, not babies, but probably maybe a year or two old. And she must have been training them because they set themselves up to hunt. So what they do is they space themselves out and somebody goes ahead, one of the lions goes ahead to try to flush out the animals. Well, guess what happened? This young and kind of rash individual got up there and he blew it. He started running after the animals. He hadn't planned it well, and they all dispersed and they got nothing. So here are the boys, after the fact, no food, no lunch. And guess what mom did? She turned around. You could see her shaking her head. She went back under the bushes to just relax. She's like, oh God, these guys didn't get it at all. Now, I'm going to show you a picture of, these are the adult males. Very huge, very handsome. And you can be sure, like, look how seriously chunky and strong these guys are. You can be sure that they've perfected the hunt by now. Another pair of brothers. These are all pictures I took, by the way. It's not somebody else. This is me being close enough to them. And as you can see, after they've been hunting, they need a rest. They're very full. They eat a lot. So when they eat, they just keep on eating and eating until the thing is gone. They don't want to share with other animals. And often they take a nap. Now, when you see them and they're in this state, often the next thing that they do is they go off to find something to drink. You know how when you've eaten a big meal, you get thirsty? Well, it's the same thing with lions. And this really ties into the kind of work that we're doing. So Water is Life Kenya, we do water projects. And you can imagine that, they're sharing water with humans because people are living in the same places as wild animals. And so this is a picture of one of the places that we did a water project in. This is Kuku. Now these women had to go down to the seasonal riverbed and scoop water. And that was the same place used by wild animals. In the drought time, the water would be even less available. So when they would scoop it, in the drought time, the water recharges even less quickly. So ladies would be waiting there for hours and hours waiting for the water. And sometimes they would have to go back at night. And they would go back at night. They would have to go back with 5 or 6 ladies and a whole group of warriors to protect them. Because who would they find at the water point? Lions. So you can just imagine. And so the amazing thing that we were able to do in Kuku was to drill a well for them that solved this problem. So here's a picture of Joseph Florasha on the drilling day where we hit water in Kuku. So now this has saved these people from having to share their water point with lions, to put themselves in danger, to drink dirty water that's been peed in and pooped in by wild animals. That's what happens. And here is the water that came out on the test pumping day. They had a very productive borehole. And now their water problem is solved. Now women don't have to stress and worry that they're going to be putting themselves in danger. They don't have to worry about bringing dirty water home to their families. So I want to share this with you because that's what we're going to be doing in Osawan. So when we're turning on the water for Osawan, that's what we're doing together. We're helping people. We're getting them out of their problem. You know, the reason why Water is Life Kenya, we started doing this work is we took very seriously, what we learned when we were going to church, when we heard people tell us to feed the hungry and bring water to the thirsty and bring hope to the hopeless. That's what we're doing together, you guys. So when you send us your $5 donation, your $20 donation, your $50 donation to turn the water on for Osawan, that's what we're doing. So this is a great time to give you an update about what we've been able to do together for Osawan. So far, we have reached $14,000 and $14,200 as of this morning. We had 63 donors. So you guys, thank you so much. There's plenty of time to do the water walk. So if you haven't met my challenge, I'm challenging you right now. Get out there and walk. And then when you've walked, take a selfie of yourself, post it on Facebook, and challenge 5 of your other friends, okay? So you guys, can we get can we raise another $10,000 this week? I think we can. From $14,000, we'll be up to $24,000 next week. I think we can do it. All we need to do is 40 people to walk and tag 5 people. And if everybody contributes $50, we can reach our goal. So you guys, let's do this. Let's change these people's lives. Let's improve their lives. Save them from these horrible things that they have to face every day, okay? Let's bring them hope. And then they'll know that when they pray for these things, that somebody's listening. We're the ones. So Colleen is trying to share something with me over here. So I'm going to give my attention to her. How old are they? Okay. Great. So somebody wanted to know about lions getting their manes. So when they're about 3 or 4 years old, if they're going to get a mane, they're going to get a mane then. They'll start to grow it in, and they'll start to show in little tufts, and it'll start to come out of their necks. Not all male lions have manes, though. It's important to know that. It's genetics and where they live. So not all of them will have a big mane, a big and beautiful mane like this. So the other thing I wanted to share with you is, if you want to hear more about how we started Water's Life Kenya, I gave a TEDx talk which talks about this. It's called Singing Water Out of the Ground in Kenya. And also my colleague and co-founder Joseph LaRasha talks about how he learned courage from a lion in his TEDx talks. So we're going to be including those links for you. You might want to check them out. You'll learn even more about all these interesting things and be inspired, hopefully, to help us, or even to do your own thing, which, a lot of times people have passion for something and they don't know how to start. I want to tell you, just do one thing every day to move in the direction of your passion, and you'll be able to change the world. That's what we do together, right? So thank you so much for listening to my show. I just want to thank you for tuning in. Again, I want to thank all of our donors, all of our supporters. Share this program with your friends and love this program, and, continue to support us. Do the water walk, guys. Let's reach our goal together. The other thing is, Colleen's trying to shut me down. No. Oh my gosh. No, I just want us to remember that we need to keep on staying safe, keep on taking care of each other, keep on praying for all of our healthcare and frontline people there who are out there struggling in this time of coronavirus. Let's just keep them in our thoughts and prayers, and also make sure you stay safe and do the things that you're supposed to do, right? Wash your hands, wear a mask, don't touch your face. Good night, everybody. See you next week, next Friday. Facebook Live with Joyce Tanyan. Love you. God bless you. Good night.